What's happening, everyone? Welcome to I don't know what I said then. What is happening, everyone, and welcome to another video. My name is Hayden, and I've been selling for over 5 years now. I also own an Amazon PPC advertising agency where we handle people's spend on Amazon on their PPC. I haven't got any courses, I haven't got any mentorship to sell you or anything like that. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about dealing with slow sales, dealing with summer slowdown or whatever's impacting your sales, because this is a thing that happens, right? We can easily get sidetracked by amazing sales around Christmas sometimes when there's more users on the platform, or like, you know, whatever high is, say you sell summer products, maybe your high's in summer and then the other times of the year it's slow. But you have to, you can get sidetracked by that, and some sellers actually start selling when them highs are there, and then they come back down to a massive reality check. So in this video, if you're having slow sales, I want to talk to you about that and talk to you about the best things you can do in terms of mindset and actual actions that you can take to counteract this as best as you possibly can, right? So first of all, I want to talk about the actual practical things that you can do, because sometimes sales are just slow and that's it, right? Sometimes they're just slow, and we're going to talk about that mindset thing of the second section of this video. But to start with, let's talk about the practical things you can actually do. Now, sometimes it's not slow sales, it's because there's an issue with your listing, right? So if you've recently launched a product listing and it's not getting sales, and maybe you've got a few that you've launched and they haven't got any sales at all and you're running ads on them, it could be that you've got a suppressed type of listing. Now, it could be that, you know, you need to check how many characters are in your title, for example, how many characters are in your bullet points, how many characters are in your description. Any of this sort of stuff, including images that are exposed over the amount of size they're allowed to be in certain listings, is gonna suppress you. Therefore, you're not going to be showing up organically. So that's the first thing that I would check. Are you showing up organically? The second thing I would say is, have you done your keyword research properly, right? You know, have you used a tool like Helium 10 or whatever to do your research, keyword research properly? Are you optimizing for the correct keywords? I'd say the third thing I would do is make sure that you are actually that your title is optimized to the audience you're trying to get to. Now, this is one of the biggest mistakes sellers make. Can't explain how many sellers I've spoken to that have made this error, and as soon as they edited the title, I've made this mistake a lot of the times myself as well. As soon as they've edited the title, or I've edited the title, hooray, you know, sales start to come in. So have you targeted the title? If you look at your competition, is your title targeted to the consumer that you're trying to get, right? Don't be too broad. You know, if you're selling dog products, you can't just say dog products, pets, toys in the title. If it's a dog lead with biscuits, you need to say dog lead with biscuits and make sure you've got the correct keywords, for example. A lot of people make that mistake with the titles. But yeah, other than that, check. Is there listings that need improving? Have you put it in the correct category? Check on your inventory. Is it suppressed on there? Is there something that you need to update? Stuff like that. This is like the first stuff that we check, right? This is the first stuff, because a lot of people get caught out on that. But the second stuff's generally, if you're sure that you've checked all this stuff and it's available and it's for sale and everything like that, and you've just had a bit of a sales slump, then that's the mindset thing that I want to talk about. And with the mindset, there's no getting around. It's a difficult thing to fathom, like especially if you started selling around in Q4 and you've had 3 or 4 really good months of selling, or you started selling in COVID where it was, you know, a lot more people buying on the Amazon platform because you couldn't buy in shops, and then you've come to the realization of the ebbs and flows of the season. I remember me specifically, I really struggled when I first realized, when I first got my first summer slowdown. And if you don't know what that is, generally around sort of, depending on what you sell, end of July to August, sometimes midway into September, it can get really slow for a lot of people. And there's different times of the year where it can be slow as well, but July and August are generally some of the slowest. They can be, depending on what sort of products you sell, obviously. But for the vast majority, and you've got to be able to deal with this mentally and realize that, you know, not every business has always got crazy sales. But with Amazon, it's important to realize that everyone's going through the same situation, And the way to counteract this, just to check that it's not just you and it's everyone, is just go on to your one of your favorite keywords for your particular products or multiple products, and just check the competition. What's their rank? Like check if their sales are down as well. And another way to counteract this, just not counteract it, just mentally counteract it, so that you know that it's just the season, is to go on the Keeper graph or go on your Buy Book Pro graph, look back 365 days, see what it was back then this time last year, and then you'll be able to see on the graph when's the sales high, when's the sales low, so that you don't have to overthink this stuff too much. A lot of people really overthink this. A lot of people quit. A lot of people start cancelling their Helium 10 subscriptions, cancelling their Sellable, and just pretty much giving up just because they've had a couple of months of slow sales. You can't do that. You can't have that mindset. This is any business you jump in is going to have its ebbs and flows. Ebbs and flows. It's going to have the waves that are going to come in, the waves are going to go out, different types of business, right? So you've got to understand that it's part of the game. In the slow times, you have to prepare for the high times, right? So summer slowdown gives sellers a good advantage for those people that want to prepare for Q4. Get some products ready for Q4. Do some research for Q4, right? And then you can get all that profit back, theoretically speaking, in the bigger months, in November and December, when you've spent that time, rather than sitting there dwelling, sitting there worrying, you've actually spent that time being proactive, getting more products ready for Q4, and then you're going to make loads of money from them products in Q4. So you've counteracted this month, right? In summary, it's never going to be a breeze when it's slow sales. I still struggle with it myself when it's slow sales. Sometimes I feel like giving up. Sometimes I feel like I've had enough. I'm fed up. And then you just have to have a reality check with yourself and just realize that, hey, we've just had a few days of shit sales. That's all it is. And just don't overthink it. Try not to worry about it too much. The sales always come back, right? The sales always come back. Now, I'm talking to my older self that used to worry about this all the time. They always come back. So don't worry about it. Look at data. The longer you've been selling, the more times you can look back at your data from this time last year on your seller board or your seller toolkit, whatever you use. You can look at the custom data range and you can go back to this time last year. When was it high? When was it low? Look at your different months, what products sold, what didn't sell, so that you can prepare for the slow times, prepare for the high times, and just run a business without so much anxiety. So I hope that video's helped, guys. I'll see you in the next one.